Hi everybody. I wanted to go live and inform everybody what is happening in Minnesota right now with the Democrats' priority this session. They put their number one priority to codify abortions in Minnesota, which was already legal, completely legal as we know, and they have made this their number one priority. Sadly today, it is Saturday, January 28th, the Senate just voted and the bill in the Senate was approved as is. I want you to hang on, and I'm going to go through some of the amendments that the Senate offered on this abortion bill. So I think it's really important that the public, that Minnesota truly understands what happened here in Minnesota right now, what is being rammed through our state. And by the way, my husband's driving. I'm not driving. Just want to let everyone know that. But this is so important. I wanted to go live. Minnesota needs to be aware. This is a sad day for our state. If you go back to the campaign of last season, and I actually did a video on this, so you can go to my page and you can find the video, and I explained that with the Republicans, of course we were hoping to take over and to win seats so that we would have more ability. I said on that video that it was our plan was to put abortion on the ballot and to let the people of Minnesota decide. So that would look something like in an election period, we would have put no abortions after 20 weeks, no abortion after 24 weeks, something like that. And this is such a divisive issue. I agree. I know that. I know there's a lot of emotions on this issue. And we really felt like that was the right thing to do, was to allow the public, to allow Minnesota to decide what would happen, as they say, with their reproductive rights. But we wanted the public to weigh in on this. And sadly, this is just an extremely sad day for Minnesota. What we had happen was the Democrats took the abortion issue, ran with it, put it as their number one priority, and just rammed through the House and the Senate in lightning fast speed a bill that has no guardrails, no limitations, and is now setting up Minnesota to be the most extreme state on abortion laws anywhere. And it is putting us in line with China and North Korea. So hang on. You need to understand what just happened. When the bill went through the House, we took the we took the strategy of trying to just offer three basic, more reasonable amendments. I believe it was three, but we in the House, we asked to ban abortions in that third trimester, and the Democrats in the House voted no. We obviously know in that third trimester that the baby feels a great deal of pain, that baby would survive outside of the womb, and the Republicans offered an amendment, a reasonable amendment to ban third trimester abortions. The Democrats voted that down in the House. We also asked that the facilities are licensed. Isn't that common sense? Nail salons are licensed in the state of Minnesota. Tattoo parlors are licensed in the state of Minnesota. I can go on and on. And this is news to the public, but abortion facilities in Minnesota, which you can't even wrap your head around, being that this is such a more advanced medical procedure than getting your nails done, abortion clinics in Minnesota are unregulated, unlicensed. And that is just amazing, and it's a fact, and the Democrats voted that down. So this bill then went to the Senate, and the Senate started their session yesterday morning. It just finished just this morning. So, thank you to the Republican senators who they spent 21, don't quote me, but about 21 hours trying to offer reasonable amendments to the Democrats not to ban abortions, as the Democrats, ran on that fear tactic and said that we're all heartless, we don't care about women, we don't care about health care, and that, all of this rhetoric about the Republicans, and yet we were the ones offering these reasonable amendments, trying to find that common ground that the public could all live with, and that we would not be such a divided state, that we all could live with this. So let me go through some of these amendments, and I will put it in the comments. I want Minnesota to know what, if you are pro-choice, I want you to know what you're celebrating this week with this abortion bill being passed into law. Because if you're celebrating this, you need to understand what you're celebrating. You are celebrating the what the Republicans offered is, again, I believe even Democrats do not, it was something like 72% of Democrats, 72% of pro-choice Democrats do not approve of third trimester abortions. 72%. And the Democrat Party just said to you, they don't care what you think. Now, let me go through the amendments really quick. And again, this is too important. The public needs to understand. But the senators, they offered a ban on abortion after 21 weeks. Democrats said no. They offered a ban after 25 weeks, after 32 weeks. So these were all different amendments. After 36 weeks, because again, we know that baby can survive outside of the womb. I believe a baby as young as 21 weeks that was born prematurely has survived. So they walked them down the amendments, and the Democrats' party line voted no, no, no. Get this. The Republicans put an amendment that said, let's just ban abortions. This is an easy one for the Democrats to take. Let's ban abortions if the woman is in actual labor. That was the amendment. If the lady is in active labor, let's ban that. Come on, Minnesota. Can we all agree that if a woman is having a baby, we can ban an abortion at that moment? And your Democrat Party, Minnesota, just voted no. They just voted for abortions of a woman in active labor. They also voted no for the abortion facilities being licensed. Again, on record, all of the Democrats voting against, which I can't wrap my head around this, because did they not just run on women's health care? Did they not just run on that they are the party that cares so much for women? Did the Democrats not just run on that? Did you not just hear that every time you turned on your TV, that the Democrats are the only party that cares about women? And they're voting down, wrap your head around this, they're voting down abortion clinics being licensed. They're voting down abortion clinics being regulated in the state of Minnesota. And they're on record for that. They're on record for that. So that's what you voted for, Minnesota. If you're a Democrat and if you're pro-choice, God bless you. I love you all. But I don't think you understand what you just voted for. Now, they also voted down parental consent. They voted down, the Democrats, that if you are a minor child, you can go get an abortion and your parents never have to know. Now, sadly, in Minnesota right now, we are number 5 in sex trafficking. Number 5. And that's sad. And a big reason is I've been told, is the port in Duluth, that attracts sex traffickers to that area. So that is sad. And that's a totally different issue that we should work on as a state. We should all find common ground and work on that issue. But think about this. If we are number 5 in sex trafficking and now we have no limits on abortion and a minor child doesn't have to inform her parents, does this not open up the door for sex traffickers? Does this not open up the door for abusers of children to cover up their crimes? Minnesota, wake up. This is not okay, and it's not okay for all of you pro-choice Democrats to sit out there and to close your eyes, to pretend this isn't happening, and to close your ears. It is not okay what is happening in Minnesota right now. It is not okay that 70 to 80 to 90% of Minnesota would like some sort of limits on abortions, would like some sort of guardrails, that we don't want that title of being the most extreme state in the country, in the world on abortions, that we would like to come to common sense ground, and that the Republicans just offered, I think, something like 60 amendments. And again, I'll put those in the comments. You need to be informed, Minnesota, because the Democrats in Minnesota just voted against common sense. They just voted against parents being notified of their minor children having an abortion, and that opens up to abuse and sex trafficking in our state. Let me go on. The Democrats voted against sterilization of minors. There's literally an amendment that we asked them to please, 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 Democrats, let's all just come to the table and agree, because this is, remember, this bill is really about abortion, but they call it health, freedom, reproductive rights. So in this bill, a 13-year-old girl could make the decision that she wants to go in and get sterilized, not tell her parents, because we have that law. I'm not kidding you. And so we offered the amendment, please, please, Democrats, let's find this common ground that minors or under 14, I believe the amendment said, under 14, let's not sterilize children under 14. And the Democrats just said no. The Democrats just said no to that amendment. Also, we offered amendments on prohibiting abortions based solely on the sex of the baby. So meaning I'm a couple and I really want a boy and I find out it's a girl, and so they're aborting a baby only based on the sex. The Democrats said no. The Republicans offered an amendment, and we said, let's put an amendment that you cannot abort a baby based on the race of that baby. The race. And the Democrats said no. We offered an amendment that the baby in the third trimester has to receive anesthesia. Because obviously that baby can feel pain. Sorry. And the Democrats voted no. Minnesota, this just got rammed through the House. It got rammed through the Senate. And the majority of Minnesotans don't even know what's happening. When this goes into law, because the Governor Walz said he's going to sign this into law. Sorry. Yeah, it does make me sad that third trimester babies are being aborted in our state. When this gets signed into law this week, when Walz signs this into law this week, if you are pro-choice, you need to understand what you're celebrating. And this is not a day to be celebrating, Minnesota. This is not something to celebrate.